Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will change how you see your wife forever. I'm a woman, and I'm going to share 5 psychological tricks that wives use to hide cheating. Before I walk you through the full story, I just have a small favor to ask. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments what city are you watching from. It's always amazing to see how far this audience is reaching. Now, let's get back to the story. These are real tactics that I've seen used, that I've heard women brag about in private. And yes, some of these I used myself when I was cheating on my own husband. I'm not proud of it, but you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to understand why your gut is screaming that something is wrong, even though she makes you feel crazy for thinking it. You deserve to know why you're always apologizing when she's the one acting suspicious. Most men never see these coming because they're designed to make you the villain in your own marriage. They're psychological warfare disguised as normal wife behavior, and they work because they target everything society taught you about being a good husband. Trick number 1, making you feel bad for asking questions. It works almost every time. Here is how it happens. You notice something strange about your wife's behavior. Maybe she is texting late at night, or she seems different somehow. You ask a simple question about it. Instead of giving you a straight answer, she turns everything around on you. She says things like, "I cannot believe you do not trust me after all these years," or "Your jealousy is destroying our marriage." Suddenly, you are not talking about her strange behavior anymore. You are defending yourself against being called jealous or controlling. This works because no man wants to be seen as the jealous husband. Society has taught you that real men trust their wives completely. She uses this against you. She knows you would rather ignore warning signs than be called paranoid. The trick gets worse over time. Every time you ask a question and get attacked for it, you become less likely to ask the next question. Eventually, you stop trusting your own feelings completely. You start thinking you are crazy when you are actually seeing real problems. I have watched this trick shut down conversations about obvious affairs. The husband knows something is wrong, but he has been trained to feel guilty for questioning anything. So he chooses to live in denial rather than face another emotional attack. Here is what really happens. She makes you apologize for having normal concerns. She makes you promise to trust her more. She makes you feel like the problem in the marriage when she is the one acting suspiciously. A faithful wife will answer your questions with patience. She will understand why you might be concerned and work to reassure you. An unfaithful wife will attack you for asking questions because she cannot give honest answers. The psychology behind this is brilliant and cruel. She exploits your desire to be seen as a secure, trusting husband. When she uses labels like jealous or controlling, you immediately back down. You start apologizing for even asking the question. You promise to trust her more. You feel guilty for having normal, rational concerns about obvious changes in her behavior. Trick number 2. Becoming the perfect wife might surprise you because it seems backward. When some wives are cheating, they suddenly become perfect at home. They start cooking amazing meals they have not made in years. They clean the house like they are preparing for inspection. They buy you gifts for no reason. They agree with you about things they used to argue about. Your first thought is probably relief. Finally, your marriage is getting better. Finally, she is appreciating you again. But this is not what you think it is. Here is what is really happening. She feels guilty about what she is doing, so she tries to make up for it by being extra good at home. She thinks if she is perfect as a wife, then what she does outside the marriage does not count as much. This performance serves another purpose too. She wants to build up good feelings between you. When you eventually find out about her cheating, she wants you to remember how good she was to you. She wants you to feel confused about being angry, because look at all the wonderful things she did. The perfect wife act cannot last forever. It takes too much energy to fake this level of care. It will fade when she either stops feeling guilty or when her outside relationship becomes more important than hiding it. I have seen women cook elaborate dinners while texting other men, They buy expensive gifts for their husbands with money they are also spending on affairs. They clean house while planning secret meetings. The sad part is that many men see this sudden change, but choose not to question it. They want to believe their marriage is improving. They see the extra attention but refuse to ask what caused such a big change. Real improvement in a marriage happens slowly and comes with honest talks about problems. Sudden perfection is usually covering up guilt about something else. The most insidious part is how it creates false gratitude. You become grateful for attention that should be normal in a marriage. You start feeling like you owe her something for her sudden kindness. This emotional debt makes it harder for you to confront problems when they arise. Trick number 3, using friends as cover. Women are better at social games than men, and cheating wives use this skill to their advantage. They turn their friends into helpers who provide alibis and cover stories for their affairs. First, she finds friends who will lie for her. These are usually women who either support cheating or who have their own secrets they need protected. They help each other by covering for each other's bad behavior. Then, she creates innocent activities that can hide guilty ones. Girls' nights out become chances to meet other men. Work events provide cover for romantic dinners. Gym classes become alibis for unexplained time away from home. Book clubs become code words for affair meetings. She makes you feel mean or controlling for questioning her need for friends and activities. She uses words about women needing independence to protect behavior that is not independent at all. She makes any resistance from you seem like you are trying to isolate her from healthy friendships. She also chooses to spend time with divorced women or women who think cheating is normal. This is not an accident. She needs people around her who will make betrayal seem reasonable or even expected. She needs friends who will say things like, "You deserve to be happy," and "Life is too short to stay in a bad marriage." These friends do something else important. They become witnesses who will back up her stories. When you ask about her evening, she does not just have her own explanation. She has multiple people who will confirm whatever story she has created. I have watched women build entire networks of people who help maintain their lies. They create group text messages where they coordinate their stories. They plan complicated cover stories that involve several participants. They turn their social lives into organized deception operations. The psychology here is smart and cruel. She frames questioning her social life as you being antisocial or controlling. She uses legitimate language about women's rights to protect illegitimate behavior. She makes you feel guilty for wanting to know where your wife really is and what she is really doing. The social circle also provides emotional validation for her choices. When she is surrounded by women who support her decisions, it becomes easier to convince herself that what she is doing is justified. The group thinks betrayal feels normal and acceptable. Trick number 4, hiding digital lives. Modern affairs often start online, and women have become experts at managing multiple secret communications while appearing to be transparent. The key is keeping different conversations separate. She uses different apps for different purposes. Work messaging apps become ways to have personal romantic talks. Social media messages hide behind innocent-looking interactions. Dating apps get disguised or hidden inside other app folders. Special encrypted messaging apps handle the most serious affair communication. She makes any desire for transparency seem like you are violating her privacy. She makes you feel guilty for wanting to see her phone or for noticing changes in how she uses it. She uses legitimate privacy language to justify complete secrecy. Her phone becomes something sacred that you cannot touch or see. She always keeps it face down. She takes it everywhere, including bathrooms where she never took it before. She gets nervous when you simply move it or hand it to her. She changes passwords on devices that used to be open between you. But the real damage is in the emotional closeness she builds through these digital channels. She can stay in constant contact with affair partners throughout her normal day. She shares thoughts and feelings in real time. She builds relationships that become more emotionally close than her marriage. And she does it all while sitting next to you. The digital affairs feel less real to her, which makes them easier to justify in her mind. She tells herself it is just talking, just friendship, just emotional support. but she is building genuine, intimate relationships with other men while her husband sits unaware in the same room. I have known women who were texting affair partners during family dinners, during intimate moments with their husbands, even during their children's school events. The constant digital connection becomes an addiction that she feeds, no matter where she is or what she is supposed to be focused on. The phone also gives her emotional intimacy that does not require physical presence. She can maintain continuous emotional connection with someone else throughout her regular day, sharing thoughts and feelings that she no longer shares with you. The technical manipulation is sophisticated. She learns to manage notification settings so certain messages do not make sounds. She uses apps that delete messages automatically. She creates separate email accounts you do not know about. She even uses gaming platforms to have romantic conversations that look like innocent gaming to anyone who might see. Perhaps the most devastating trick is how cheating wives slowly change the story of their marriages to make their betrayal seem reasonable. This is not just lying about what is happening now. This is changing the entire story of your relationship to make her cheating seem like it was bound to happen. She starts pointing out your flaws while ignoring your good qualities. Things she used to love about you become annoying or not enough. Efforts you have made get forgotten or described as insufficient. Problems get made bigger while solutions get ignored. The goal is to create a story where you are the reason she needed to look for attention somewhere else. She creates stories like, "We have been growing apart for years, when you thought everything was fine." She claims, "You never really understood me," despite years of support and effort. She says, "We want different things about goals she never mentioned having before." This serves several purposes in her mind. It makes her feel less guilty about betraying what she now describes as an already damaged relationship. It creates justification for her actions that she can present to friends, family, and eventually lawyers. It prepares her emotionally for leaving by convincing herself that the marriage was already over. The memory changes are particularly cruel. Good memories get reinterpreted as fake or settling. Your positive qualities get described as negative ones. Happy times get dismissed as illusions or compromises. She literally rewrites your shared history to support her current bad choices. She also starts planning a future that does not include you, but she does it quietly. Talks about long-term goals become vague or get avoided completely. Shared dreams get abandoned without explanation. Investment in activities you do together decreases slowly. She begins making decisions based on what she wants alone rather than what you want together. I have watched women convince themselves that their marriages were terrible, even when everyone else could see healthy, loving relationships. They needed to believe their husbands were not good enough to justify looking for someone better. They changed years of good memories to support current bad choices. The narrative reconstruction is gradual and subtle. She does not wake up one day and declare your marriage was always bad. Instead, she slowly introduces doubt about past happiness. She questions whether good times were really that good. She suggests that problems you thought were resolved were actually signs of deeper incompatibility. These psychological tricks work because they target basic parts of how men think and what society has taught you. Men are taught to be trusting, to avoid conflict, to not be jealous, and to respect women's independence. All of these good qualities become weaknesses when they are used against you. The tricks also work because they support each other. The guilt reversal stops you from asking questions. The perfect wife performance confuses your ability to detect threats. The social circle manipulation provides alibis and support for her story. The digital compartmentalization hides evidence. The history rewriting provides justification for everything. Most importantly, these tricks help you in your own deception. You choose to believe the performances because the truth would be too painful. You accept the guilt because confrontation would be too difficult. You ignore the evidence because acknowledging it would require action you are not ready to take. The layered nature of these tricks makes them particularly effective. When one trick is challenged, the others provide backup. If you question her social activities, she can point to how perfect she has been at home. If you notice digital secrecy, she can make you feel guilty for not trusting her. If you remember happier times, she can reframe them as illusions you created. Here is what most people will not tell you. Women cheat differently than men, and often in more dangerous ways for marriages. Male cheating is often sudden and physical. Female cheating is usually planned and emotional first. Men often get caught because they are careless. Women often get away with it because they are careful. When women cheat, they are more likely to fall in love with their affair partners. They are more likely to leave their marriages. They are more likely to have planned their exit strategies in advance. They are also more likely to have built support networks that validate their choices and help them carry out their plans. The emotional part makes female infidelity particularly threatening to marriages. A man might have sex with someone else and still love his wife. A woman who has an emotional affair has usually already moved her primary emotional loyalty to someone else. Women are also more strategic about infidelity. They think through the consequences. They plan for different scenarios. They build safety nets and backup plans. They consider how to minimize damage to themselves while maximizing their options. If you recognize any of these patterns in your marriage, trust your feelings. The tricks I have described are specifically designed to make you doubt your own observations and feel guilty for having concerns. A faithful wife welcomes transparency and addresses your concerns with patience and understanding. An unfaithful wife uses psychological manipulation to shut down investigation and make you feel bad for asking questions. Your worth as a man is not determined by whether your wife chooses to be faithful. Your value comes from who you are as a person, not from someone else's decision to honor or betray your trust. A strong man does not ignore warning signs to keep peace. A wise man does not choose comfortable lies over difficult truths. The most important thing to remember is that these tricks only work if you let them. Once you understand the psychological manipulation, you can protect yourself from it. You can trust your instincts without feeling guilty. You can ask questions without apologizing. You can demand transparency without being called controlling. Knowledge is your protection against manipulation. Understanding these tricks gives you the power to see clearly when they are being used against you. And seeing clearly, however painful it might be, is always better than living in carefully created illusions. Your future depends on your willingness to face reality, whatever that reality might be. These psychological tricks exist whether you acknowledge them or not. The only question is whether you will recognize them when they are being used in your own life. Remember, a marriage should be built on honesty and trust, not on psychological games and manipulation. You deserve a relationship where your concerns are heard, your questions are answered, and your trust is earned through consistent, transparent behavior. Do not let anyone convince you that wanting honesty in your marriage makes you controlling or paranoid. It makes you wise.